Hi, I'm Dave from Foxy Gardens, and I'm taking my third attempt to change the cord out on, or to load the cord properly on this. What is it, an F38 or something? F38 Stihl whippersnapper. The last video I made was misinformation. Told you, according to some other guy, that said to put the two ends in just slightly and then wind it up. Apparently, that's not how you do it. Now I'm going to show you again how you really do it, and this way it actually really worked. So you spin this thing around to take it off, except for the fact that it doesn't do anything. So you have to push it down and then do this, and that should actually work. I'm going to push it down hard enough to catch the thread, and then it supposedly, oh nope, nothing happening. So when this happens in the middle of your workday, it might start to make you feel frustrated, but don't worry, it's your fault. It's not the miraculous Stihl whippersnapper. So I'm trying to get it to come off. Now it's off. Okay, look, so there's a little bit left here. I'm just gonna take it off. Remove it. Now I know there's probably handier people than me watching this going like, why is he so slow? Why is he so inept? Why can't he just do this in 5 seconds? Well, the answer is that I'm not the biggest pro of changing out whippersnapper line, especially with this thing, which has caused so much trouble with me and my team. Been very frustrated. It's caused fights. We've lost team members over this, and so now I guess you need two 6 foot or 5 foot arms lengths worth of this stuff to come off this thing. So I'm just gonna kind of guess, which I'm sure some people will think, why don't you just measure it with a something? And the answer is because I don't want to. I don't feel like it. I'm just gonna guess. This is good enough for me, I think. And now I'm just gonna snip it. Okay, so my understanding now is, and this is all nice and coiled and very like a kinky afro here. I'm just gonna put that down, and then I'm gonna reattach this, get the threading on there, because my understanding is, yeah, the thread is there. There's a little bit of thread, and you can just catch it, and then eventually this should tighten, and it's starting to tighten, and it tightens. And this thing happens, well, yeah, actually these triangles here, these hieroglyphic looking triangles, have to be matched up with each other. So there's 2 here and 2 here, and they basically match up. This thing is now tight, so this thing won't come off when you turn this thing. So that's the thing that I missed last time, is that I was trying to tighten the whole thing, and I was, I had 2 pieces sticking out like this, and I loaded the thing and tried to put it on, did all these things that you might think that you should do, but you actually should never do. Apparently, you just have to do it like this. And this actually is logical, and I don't even think the book says this. We looked in the book and it didn't even say this. Or maybe it did, but I just didn't interpret it properly, So then this goes through the hole, and even though this is like a curved line, it should pop out the other side, and if it doesn't, then you've done something incorrectly. So I feel it going the wrong way in there, so that's always a plus. So, you're in the middle of your busy work day, this goes in, doesn't go in the right direction. Something's wrong. These things are supposed to be lined up. And so you feel your blood pressure going up as you do this, because you're just it's like, why won't this work? And then you put this through. And then at some point, miraculously, again, it comes out the other side. So now you have to pull it until it's the same length. So hopefully this is the real way to do it. I'd like to hear from people on YouTube to tell me if it is or isn't. Tell me if you think, I look like I should be doing stuff like this or not. But I'm just a normal guy, give me a break. I'm trying to do this, got enough trouble in my life, so I shouldn't have to really deal with this kind of stuff. But anyway, so I'm gonna make it roughly the same length. So, you're in someone's yard whippersnipping, and you're trying to do this kind of thing, and this thing's doing this, and then it's starting to fall, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go over here, pull it a little bit more, trying to guesstimate. You have to have unlimited patience to do this, unlimited. So everyone that I talk to has very limited patience, including me. So my patience, but you have to be like a god. You have to be on another astral plane with unlimited patience to be like, oh yeah, it's okay, what, a few more inches here. Yeah, it's okay, and this thing's trying to fall off the thing. And I'm like, okay, well, that's nice. And I just finished this job too, so this thing ran out of cord kind of mid-job, so managed to get through the job and then came home. So now it's the same length, and I'm gonna just twist it like this. So now that this is tight, this thing just should turn. It just does a little ka-chunk.
How do you know which way to twist it?
Well, how do I know? It's just that I think the arrow's inside this thing.
No, it's
okay,
on the
wrong.
white part that's dirty.
Where?
It's on the white part that's dirty.
Okay, where?
Right there, if you look on the white part, you'll see an arrow.
Oh, there?
Well, does that look like an arrow?
I can't see anything.
Well,
oh, there's an arrow.
There, and it's pointing counterclockwise.
Okay, so the arrow that's covered in dirt that I didn't see because I'm not, my patience is...
Well, you also have sunglasses on.
Sunglasses.
You're standing in the shade.
Standing in the shade. Okay, there's an arrow on this side. I'd say one arrow. There's probably one here covered in dirt too. So it's like, you silly idiot. You didn't see the arrow on the white thing? Okay, well, you should clean your white thing.
Can you just turn it, or do you have to push it down and turn it?
You have to kind of push it down.
All right, but it's no big deal.
You don't have to push it down too much, and you're not touching this thing. That's
no,
the
that's
trick.
just there to hold it all together.
And so you have to do this about 50 times because you have to wind this thing up. So, and you wouldn't necessarily know it, but this thing is winding up as you turn it. You can just sort of sense
go a little
that.
faster. Maybe it'll wind up faster. Yeah.
Okay, let's go faster.
Yeah.
Hurry up, faster.
You know, I haven't got all day.
Faster.
Gotta cut some grass and whip.
Yeah, hurry up. Get to work. Stop farting around. Hurry up. Let's go. So yeah, it's starting to pull it in. So this is what makes it so that it should feed out the other way when you hit this thing after it's in there.
And if that little black plastic lid there is screwed on tight, the whole thing won't pop out. You can't.
Right, exactly.
But if you think it's on there and it's not really on there, you'll be twisting away and then the whole thing will pop off.
Right.
Have to start again.
Start again with that unlimited patience that you have to do this kind of thing. So, and it is important because if you can't get any whippersnipping done if this thing isn't in there properly or feeding out properly. And it likes to, you whippersnip something with a hard surface, it kind of chips it away, and before you know it, this thing is down to the nub, right? Didn't you have it down to the nub today?
Yeah, but if you still have cord in there and it gets really, really short and it won't really cut the weeds because it's too short, you just tap this black part on the ground lightly once and it'll shoot out some more of this green stuff.
Yeah. And also, this thing, when you're turning, you have to watch it because your fingers can pinch in that black thing.
So that's the people that designed this. Maybe they might want to figure it out.
They did a perfect job. They did nothing wrong.
And you wouldn't want to catch your skin between the black part and the white part.
So tell me, am I supposed to be like a real man's man, not complain and just let my fingers bleed as I crank this in? Or should I be the more sensitive man of today and be like, oh, why is this?
Or the more intelligent one and have the women do it.
The women? That sounds very possibly sexist.
Well, you're being sexist by saying that you need to be a man's man, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm doing it for the sake of
All right,
humor.
so, you're trying to be funny. Well, how long do you twist it? How do you know when you're done twisting?
Well, because it's almost past this thing
here.
Because
on this somewhere there's a blade? What's this thing?
I don't know.
Isn't there a blade that will cut it?
Is that what this is?
Yes.
I suppose that's what that
is.
is.
So if you had something longer than this plastic shield, it would, when it's spinning, the blade would catch it and cut it off. It always should be approximately that length.
Yeah.
Always.
Or a little bit
or
less,
shorter, yeah.
So it's not bumping into, because the thing bumps into the thing as soon as you start turning it on.
So you go until when?
Well, I'm almost there, I think. Almost. One more turn. There we go.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, you can always cut it off if one's too long and one's too short.
And then having it start is a whole other...
No, wait.
Well, hold on a second.
I think you should tell them a couple of things that I've watched you do that are really important.
Okay.
One is when you do get it through, all the way through, and you do start turning it, make sure you're going counterclockwise and follow the arrow, which is marked on the white thing. That's the first secret.
Mm-hmm.
The second secret is when you're trying to put this plastic thing through the two holes, if the end of it is curved a little bit, pointing one way, you're going to have trouble. Make sure it's not. It's just straight like that. And see how it's kind of like curving up or down? hold it in front of the hole like that and push it in, and it will go straight through. But if you don't, if you put it in like that on a little bit of an angle,
gets caught in
there. So that's the other secret that they don't tell you about in the manual.
So how do you figure that we, like, for all this time we've been like messing around with this thing, that we got it so wrong all this time, even though we had the manual?
Because the manual didn't tell you which way to hold that cord when you're shoving it in initially.
Yeah.
And the manual didn't tell you to shove it all the way through and then twist it like we just did. It told you to cut it in half and shove it through each hole on each side, which got really confusing.
But we're also taking this thing off and trying to wind it in the thing and then shoving it on.
We tried every which way because we didn't know what we were doing, but we finally figured it out.
Yeah, so this is the way, I think. So hopefully this helps anyone that is, like, you know, trying to figure this thing out. It's, again, it's the Stihl F38.